down the basement, lock the cellar door, and baby, talk bloody to me.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Talk Bloody to Me. I'm Matt,
And I'm Breezy.
and today we're talking about two movies with things that are born weirdly, I guess,
Yeah,
maybe.
very odd, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about a movie that was sent to us from our request, was sent to us from our friend Ryan, a movie called The Fetus. And then we're
Mm.
also going to be talking about Basket Case from 1982. And
And both of them, both celebrity are going to be at Crypticon too. One of them is Bill Mosley, which is the fetus,
mhm.
and then Basket Case, Kevin Van, I don't know how to pronounce his
Kevin
last name.
Van Hentrick, Van
Yeah,
Hentrick,
but we're going to start with fetus because
right?
that's a fun one.
Yes. So this came out, The Fetus. This came out just this year, 2025, directed by Joe Lamb and our good friend Ryan, famous for Art the Clown cosplay. That's his face. Um,
Hmm.
has been really a big fan of this movie. He was trying to get it into theaters in the area, and he was getting a group organized, and he was doing all kinds of stuff to try and hype up this movie. And so he wanted us to review it, and so we're going to review it. And it's a good one. Spoiler alert.
A very good one. Yes. There's
Yeah.
if you have not seen it, there's going to be a lots of spoilers. Just
Yeah.
giving you guys a heads up.
Yeah, you might want to see it first before you listen to this episode if you haven't already. But it stars Bill Moseley as Maddox, who's going to be at Crypticon this year, and then Lauren Lavera from Terrifier 2 and 3 fame. Um, and yeah, this is a good movie. I would describe this as someone saw teeth and then
Yeah,
said,
I
"Let's
see.
let's amp it up a notch."
Yeah, see, when I seen like parts of it, I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Teeth, but it's actually better
Right.
than Teeth.
Exactly. Someone saw teeth and was like, let's put this on acid and crank it up a notch and make it better." And that's exactly what it is. So,
Yeah.
um, so what this is, okay, movie starts off with a young Maddox and he's doing he like throws his book in the fire and there's a ritual and all this supernatural jazz and stuff and it's spooky. And then you cut to some sex because you can't have a fetus without sex, can you?
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
Laura Laura Lavera, Alessa,
Yep.
um, she and her boyfriend, Chris, I believe, are and they're doing. There's you know what they're doing, but
Yeah,
there's little
they're having sex, and it seems like she like kind of didn't want to get pregnant, but in a way, yeah.
yeah
But he didn't want nothing to do with the pregnancy at all.
yeah there was a little mishap when they get done. His condom was broken, and he didn't bother to tell her, and so she goes to the doctor the next day, and boom, she's pregnant. And it's like, well, how did she get pregnant that fast? And she confronts him. She says, "My body's different. My dad warned me if I ever get pregnant, um, I gotta see him right away." Oh, we should say that when they were having sex, there was like a quick flash of her in like demon form, and then she clawed
Mm.
his skin. Probably right when
Yep.
she had the big OG. She was like, ah, demon. Anyway, but
Yeah, that's a
it
nice
happens.
twist too.
It happens to the best of us. But
Mhm.
anyway,
Kinda.
yeah. um, so they agree after a lot of rigmarole, they're gonna go see the dad, or not the dad, Bill Moseley,
Yep.
Maddox. He's blind, and she's kind of like, he's
Is
not,
he really though blind though? Because like he was acting like he's blind, but at the end, like getting towards like the middle end, he
Mhm.
kind of sees a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, because he does he, because there's clues like he says, "Can you open those blinds so we get a little light in here?" And it's kind of, and then he's like, "Oh, that's better." And it's like, wait a minute, if he's blind, um, what the hell? Well, they kind of explain that, but what you find,
Well, if you're like blind and like say like it's the feeling of the sunlight. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Well, but he made it. What happens is he made a deal with the demon to get his sight back. And so when he did
Yeah,
his
that's right.
little ritual, he promised that he would give up his daughter's baby, and in exchange he would get his sight back. And so his we kind of missed the part that uh Miss Alessa has she there was a couple victims before they got there. They stopped at a gas station and how would you describe it? Like a tentacle? Like like a little
So
mouth kind of?
what? So what match is? I would say like when you got pregnant, it's like a demon baby. But how
Mhm.
this demon baby is, it's like kind of like it kind of reminds me of like one of those boy like very deadliest snake
There
type
you
because it had
go.
fangs. It had
Right.
fangs. It kind of like it reminds me of teeth, but it's like a snake form.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like the umbilical cord comes out, but with teeth and bites people and
And that's
attacks
how the
them.
baby feeds. So
Yeah, exactly. And of course where it comes out of is the vagina. So hence the
yep,
comparison to teeth. And so she's got like it's almost like Alien when the alien goes and the little mouth comes out from inside the alien. It's
yep.
almost like that except down there. And so there's a couple incidents along the way, and then anyway, now they're at the dad's house. They're gonna make some dinner. They have about 97 pounds of bloody meat for some reason. Apparently, that's what they like to eat. And the blood gets the fetus, the titular fetus, excited, and it starts acting up. And that clues Maddox in that his daughter's pregnant. So he goes down to the basement where he's got a little hole in the ground with a demon just kind of standing in there, like, "Hi, I'm a demon. I'm down here."
Yeah,
And
I'm pretty sure that's Alyssa's mom.
yeah, I believe, yeah, yep, exactly. And so he's like, I think she's pregnant. Well, then, I think that's the point where she heals his eyes once she knows that she's pregnant. Because after that, that's when he's like, "Can you open that blind a little bit and stuff?" Um, Eventually, you find out that it's, of course, a demon baby, and it needs to feed on human blood. Well, not human blood, but
Yep.
preferably human blood. And they need to find victims for the baby. And eventually it gets to the point where it comes out and it's like a little baby, but still connected to a cord and like attacks people and bites them and
Well,
stuff.
like when the feeding time comes around, you don't see the baby. You just see like that little tentacle type thing to feed.
Right. But then later on you do see the baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So what's some of your favorite parts in this movie?
I really don't have a favorite. I like the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way better than teeth.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100 times better. Um, yeah, and so you find out that um Alyssa was a demon baby, that her dad had sex with this demon in the hole, and they show him basically just laying on top of the hole, humping
Yeah.
it, and it's a little awkward. It's almost like, was this intended to be funny or is this unintentionally funny? Either way, it works. But he basically had sex with a hole in the ground, but in his mind, it was like a fantasy, sexy woman, all this. And so then when she was born, it was the same thing. It was the demon fetus and they had to feed victims. And she's like, "Oh no, I'm responsible for killing all those people." And he's like, "Oh, it's the way it's got to be."
So
Bill
when
Mosley,
she
by the
when
way,
this
oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Bill Mosley, by the way, gives a spectacular performance. He's Bill
Oh,
Mosley all the way. It's a part he's born to play.
mm-hmm.
He's and Lauren, of course, does awesome as well.
Yep.
Everyone does really well. But this just feels like this part was written specifically for Bill Mosley. Like they were like, okay, this is a Bill Mosley part, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
definitely. So I was gonna say like when she's pregnant, the baby's ready to feed. Well, when she tends to like black out, like she like just gets knocked out cold while she this fetus gets a feed on, and then she wakes up, and then the guy got killed. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Blah blah blah. It's like I like this.
yeah. There's one by the side of the road. They kind of just lay her up against a tree by the
Yep.
side of the road, and then someone comes to help her. Like, what's wrong? And then, wow,
Yep.
attack.
Pretty much like a snake does,
Yup, exactly. It's like a
ready to pounce.
and so the idea is he's supposed to sacrifice the baby once it's born, but then she wants to raise the baby and raise it as a human. And then there's fighting and there's fighting with the demon and he cuts the thing's arm off at one point and it's just really cool. It's just it's hard to describe, but I mean it's hard to
Yeah, it's
I don't want
you
to
have
give
to.
through the whole thing, but
Yeah,
it's really
no,
good.
it's kind of difficult to describe, but yeah, it's not. But it's like
Right.
if you have seen Teeth, it is similar to that, but
Hmm.
more. I like this one more, for
Yeah.
sure.
There's some themes of like serious topics of unwanted pregnancies and getting pregnant before you're ready, being too young, and it kind of touches on some of those topics, but more it's just interested in killing and gore and occasional comedy too. I believe
Yep.
some parts were done for comedy. And it's hard to have a fetus monster without having a little comedy, you know what I mean?
Right.
So so overall, what would you rate the fetus?
I would give that one as a 10 out of 10.
I think so too. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's gonna blow up once it's people start finding out about
Oh,
it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Ryan, for
I do have a feeling that some people might not like it though.
yeah. I think the topic might be a little um uncomfortable for some people maybe, um but not us hardcore horror fans. I don't
Oh,
think.
oh no.
Yeah, some people might think it's too goofy. Some people might think it's too silly. Um, but I mean, it's awesome. It's Bill Moseley. It's
Oh
Lauren
yeah.
Lavera. I mean, you could just put those two in a car talking to each other for an hour and I'd watch it, you know?
Yep.
So, so 10 out of 10 for the
Mm-hmm.
fetus. But as we said, it's a little bit silly, a little bit goofy. Now, crank the silliness and goofiness up to 11. That's the sound of the silliness and
Yeah.
goofiness going up because now we are going to talk about Basket Case, which is goofy to the extreme. And spoiler alert, I loved it. But let's get into it.
Yeah, because I have never seen Basket Case, and I'm pretty sure you haven't either.
I haven't seen, there's a bunch of them. Well, there's at least three
Yep.
basket cases, basket case I. And I haven't seen either any of them. I've seen there's one little clip in this movie that I've seen going around on like IG and stuff as a meme. Like, so I've seen the scene before lots of times, but I've never seen the actual movie before. But our friend Kevin Van Hinterick, who plays Dwayne Bradley, the main character, is going to be at Crypticon this year,
Mm.
and he has some fantastic hair in this movie. It's a question for which is the
Yeah.
biggest bulbous pile of it's
It's like the 80s hair. I
right.
love it.
Exactly. It's like so what Basket Case is about is conjoined twins, what used to be referred to as Siamese twins. Dwayne, who's relatively normal, and then he has Belial, who's basically a head, full-size human head with two little full-size human hands, but little stubby arms,
Mhm.
and then that's basically it. He kind of,
Yeah.
what he reminds me of? Like, I didn't realize this until just now, but remember Ghostbusters Slimer when he's flying
Yeah.
around?
Yeah.
He's kind of like Slimer before he died and turned into a ghost. Slimer is the ghost
I
of
think he's
Belial from,
more, I think this one, like this Basket Case, the little guy, whatever you want to call him.
yeah,
Yeah, he does remind me of Slimmer, but a little bit more aggressive Slimer.
yeah, exactly. They call it Belial, I think.
Belial?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, which is a demon name, so that's fitting. But yeah. So it's like it's like a little blob. It's like a human head with little stubby arms, and he keeps it in a basket, hence the name Basket Case. So uh, it starts with someone getting torn apart with little clawy hands, and then you see Dwayne walking down the streets of Times Square, 1982. Man, there is some amazing 1980s Times Square footage in the beginning of this movie. I just was in
Hmm.
awe of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wow. And then the guy comes up, he's like, I got weed, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got uppers, I got downers, I got this. He even says THC at one point. I was like, I didn't even know people knew what THC was in 1982. They just call it weed,
Yeah,
but
I picked that
apparently,
up. I'm like, does people know THC back in the day?
right, exactly. It's like, how the hell did you know that in 1982? But I guess, I mean, weed's been around forever, so they must have known THC
Yeah.
was in it. But he's like, "What the hell's wrong with you anyway?" Anyway, so he goes in the hotel. The hotel, I don't remember the name of the hotel. Classiest place in Times Square, obviously. $20 a night, and the hotel manager, probably my favorite character in the entire movie, played by Robert Vogel. He reminds me of the guy from the original My Bloody Valentine with the big mustache and the glasses. He's
Is
got
that
the,
why you like him so much?
I think so. I like him
What's
because
that?
he's got like I think the entire movie is he wearing like just a wife beater and like he's got glasses and a mustache and he's bald and he's yelling all the time. That's my dream. I want to run a $20 a night hotel in Times Square and yell at
Yeah, you
people.
would.
So, um, in 1982, no less, and
Yeah,
he's hanging with his buddies at the front desk. They check Dwayne in. What's in the basket? It's his clothes, but it's actually his brother. And
they did ask him what's in the basket.
yep, that's what he says, clothes.
Yeah,
Oh, but when
a
he
lot of
checks in, he does the hayseed rookie move of pulls out his whole wad of cash of like hundreds and fifties and it's like, here, let me count. One, two. And like one
yeah,
guy's
because the guy thought he was homeless.
right, yeah, exactly. And then the one guy that just has me standing there, his eyes go like when he sees the wad of cash, and that's all he can think about for the rest of the movie, until he gets horribly murdered. But so he meets a couple people that live in the hotel, some locals. He asks if there's a place to go eat. Um, but what his mission is, he's going to find the doctors that separated him and his brother at birth, and they're going to get revenge because they never should have been separated. And he's laying in bed, and he's like, "No, be quiet, be quiet." So it becomes clear that somehow they're able to like telepathically talk to each other. They kind of show that with him, like, "I'm
Yep,
trying to sleep, be quiet," but the thing's not saying anything. Um, Eventually, he makes a doctor's appointment to see one of the doctors he suspects is responsible. He meets the receptionist. They have a little meet cute. They agree to meet up later. He sees the doctor. They show his side, and it's all scarred and cut up and stuff. Um, and then they go. Is it that night they go and kill the doctor? He lets Belial loose,
yep,
kill the doctor. And he tears him apart with his little hands.
yeah. That's how he kills. It's like his little, like tiny little hands. Like he would just like it doesn't. It doesn't look like he's getting into the skin. It's just like just touching.
Yeah, exactly. But yet still it's like making big cuts and rips and he's like pulling
Yeah,
pieces off and stuff. He's like, I got my strong hand. Let me get you with my strong hand. No, he doesn't.
yeah.
But
I kept looking at his hands. I'm like, okay, is he really just touching and that's how he's killing, or is he actually digging in? Because that's where I mostly was paying attention to the whole scene. I was like, how
my
like he
what I
must be digging somehow.
what I think it's supposed to be is he's supposed to have big clawed, powerful hands that are ripping and tearing into the skin, but the reality of the fact is the special effects are they're kind of just rubbery gloves, and so it kind of just looks like but
Yeah.
so I don't think the
Yep.
special effects quite live up to what they're trying to show. But or maybe he's just weird and like has some sort of psychic powers and can just sort of telekinetically peel them
Yeah.
apart
I-
with his fingers. Because I mean, if he can communicate telepathically, he can scoot around even though he doesn't have legs. I don't know how he does that.
yeah,
um,
there's a scene, this odd part. I told you that there's this odd part, one
yeah,
odd part.
yeah,
So like this the creature looking, forgot his name again. And
Belial.
Belial, okay.
Yeah,
Not used to that.
I
So
don't blame you. It's a weird name. Call him the
I'm
creature.
just gonna call him creature. Fuck.
Call him Spud.
No, I want to call him creature.
Okay, sounds good.
So there's a scene, um, it was just by himself and he was like by this TV. But this like the graphics and all that stuff is like so fake. It was like
Yeah.
it was moving so fast, but it was like it was like slow motion at the same time. Like, whoa, that is so fake right there. This scene is totally fake.
Yeah. That's the part I was talking about that I've seen online before, like on Instagram as like a meme is so Dwayne decides to go out on a date with the receptionist and for the first time in forever, he's going to leave his brother home alone. So he buys him a TV. And he's like, "Here, this will keep you busy." And he doesn't even bother to put it on a channel. He just leaves. And so the creature tries to turn the channel and breaks the knob off. Well, then later on, him and the receptionist get a little frisky, and because of their psychic connection, that makes creature go berserker because he's jelly. And so he's like, "Brrr!" He's got this weird voice that's like modulated and like echoes. And it's like, "Arr!"
Yeah.
It's like, "Whoa." the voice is the voice is awesome. But yeah, it's like this weird like claymation, or I don't know what it is, but it's like he plops down the and then he scoots around like he doesn't make noise, but it just
Yeah.
looks so stupid. Like Gumby looks more realistic than this.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, whoa.
And then
When I seen that, I'm like, I did rewind it back a little bit. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this scene because one, it was a little bit, it was like, it was fast play, but yet it was slow motion at the same time. So it confused my brain. It's like, wait. So I went back and I did a little slow motion. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden to that TV scene, I'm like, whoa, this is like way too obvious that this is fake.
yeah. Yeah. And then it's funny too because it's like this weird sort of clay looking, like super fake thing throwing things around, and then it cuts to these obviously real rubber gloves, like that look completely different, like and then it cuts back to the globby, weird, fake looking clay thing, and then it cuts back
Yeah,
to
I
the
do
real
like that
rubber
because
glove.
it makes you think like, okay, is he actually using his hands or the claws?
Right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that part's really, really crazy. That's probably that's fun though. It's fun to watch.
It
Um,
is.
yeah. So then they end up attacking the doctor, and when the thing attacks the doctor, it's basically like the actor is holding the rubber thing up to his chest, going like waving around and stuff. It's like if you took a pillow and just held it to your chest and was like, "This pillow's killing me, people! Look out, it's a deadly pillow!" Ah.
Yeah. And it's very fun. It's like you want to laugh at it because it's like, okay, it's stupid, but it's actually kind of fun.
Exactly. Exactly. They kill the one doctor, they do some research, they find the other two. There's a big he gets drunk and his neighbor lady comes to finds him and they chat, and then there's a big flashback of him getting separated and how the dad insisted on it. His mom died in childbirth. Horribly traumatic. I don't remember who takes care of him, the aunt or grandma or someone. But anyway, he goes back home. His neighbor just falls asleep, takes her panties off, and then the creature goes over there, does a little exploring, little, and he gets a souvenir of the panties, brings
Yeah.
that home. Oh, she sees it, and she's like, "Ah." There's like three or four different times where something happens, and they scream, and then the hotel manager comes running up the stairs, and he's like, "Ah, get out of my way!"
Like, what's
Look
going on?
at yeah.
What's going on up there?
Oh, we totally forgot that when the creature was in the room by himself making all that commotion, uh, someone went in, they went in to investigate, and the creature was hiding, and they're like, "Well, who did all this? There must have been an animal in here." Then they left, and then old greedy grub that saw the big wad of cash that couldn't stop thinking about it decided now's his big chance to make his move. He goes in after everyone else leaves and takes the wad of cash, and then he's like, "Oh, since I'm in here stealing, I might as well see what's in this basket. Maybe there's something valuable in there." And then creature was in the basket and rips him to shit and screams and yells, and everyone comes back running up, and now there's blood and gore everywhere.
I love that scene for some reason.
Me too.
It's like, yeah, well, since you think that is just closed. Here you go.
Yep, exactly.
Lunchtime.
Yep. It's like, oh, you can't you I didn't even have to go anywhere. You came right to me. Thank
Yep.
you. uh so then because of that, that's when Dwayne goes out and gets drunk. He goes back to the same room and sleeps in it. Now, if you were at a hotel, even if it was in Times Square in 1982, and you found out that there had been a horrible attack and your room was covered in blood, would you go back to that room and sleep in it?
No.
Right.
When are we calling the police?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm sure it's fine. Well, I mean, he
No,
doesn't
I'd be
care
like,
because he
what
knows, but
the hell? What happened in here? And no, I'm not going to sleep in here because I don't know if there's a killer in here.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Eventually, they find out that the people that separated them weren't even doctor. The one wasn't even a doctor. She's a veterinarian, and they go and attack her. And there's a super cool killing, and they stick a bunch of syringes in her face and mess her up real good. That's
Hmm.
satisfying. And then it's like, well, now they got no one left to kill. They can just chill out. But a receptionist, she wants to meet up with Dwayne, finish what they started. She needs some comfort after all this excitement. And so they start to have hanky panky again. Oh, creature doesn't like that. There's a big commotion. And then I don't remember how this happens. I forgot what the sequence of events was. But eventually she's in bed naked and he's in his room sleeping and the creature decides to go do a little hanky panky action.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. That part, I was like,
And I didn't know that this little blob like that's the size of a beach ball apparently has genitals because it was sitting on top of her
yeah,
her area and with his little hands feeling her up going "Rrrr," and then his eyes even like glue
yeah, like, it was
glowed like
like
red.
glow, yeah, glow red.
Yeah, I'm like, glue, is that a word? What's the
No,
past tense of glow?
glow
Glowed.
red.
Yeah. Anyway, um, so Dwayne is having this dream where him and her are having this wonderful encounter because of their psychic connection, and then he wakes up and realizes, oh crap, it's the creature, and he's finally gonna kill him, and they fall out the window, and the end. But
And
apparently not
then
because there's
on
basket
to
case
yeah,
too.
yep.
So we can only apparently they survived the fall, or at least the creature did. We'll find out, I guess, when we see basket
Well,
case two.
Kevin isn't number one, two, and three, so he must
Well,
have
apparently he
survived.
survived too, then.
So
I guess we'll
I
find
just
out.
can't wait.
Maybe he lands on the creature and it breaks his fall. Like and he's like, "Oh, you okay? Sorry about that. Let's forget let's make up. We're
Hmm.
buddies again."
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go to a different town, start over. So what would you rate basket case?
I This was a really fun movie, but I'll give this one about an eight.
Yep, exactly what I say too. Eight. I had a lot of fun watching it. I was really entertained. Um, but some of the parts are so goofy and the special effects are so crappy that I can't justify saying it's a 10 out of 10 or even a 9 out of 10
Yeah,
because but it's a solid 8. I definitely enjoyed it and I if you haven't seen it, I would recommend watching it. And
yeah,
right
it's
as
a
I
very fun one.
yeah,
It's kind of like a sci-fi, and you know me, I don't like sci-fi
right.
horror movies, and I really this one. It was really fun and it kept me entertained.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know Breezy doesn't like sci-fi horror movies. I'm the exact opposite. I love those are like we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to make you watch sci-fi horror movies one of these episodes. We'll watch Event Horizon. See and you'll be like, Matt, I'm never again.
I don't mind watching Tremors. I mean, I can do
Tremor.
that.
Have you ever watched Event Horizon? Where it's the
No,
actual
I have not.
okay. It's like Hellraiser in space, kind of.
Okay, I like Hellraiser.
Oh, you might like this one then. There's some effed up stuff.
Ooh.
What have you
Well,
ever
hey,
seen
as long as there's screwed up stuff that maybe
have you ever seen The Fly with Jeff Goldblum?
I have, but it's long, long time ago.
We should do that one of these episodes.
God, that's more of a sci-fi,
See, that's what
just
I'm talking
plain
about.
sci-fi.
But there's such gross stuff in it. See, that's the debate. Anyway, so keep coming back to talk bloody to me to see if we talk about sci-fi or not. But in the meantime, uh
We
yeah.
can do it. I mean, I don't mind.
Well, we got a lot of basket cases to watch. It's nothing but basket case for the foreseeable
We
future.
got a lot we got a lot of movies to review.
I'm not ready to be done with basket case yet. I think we need to watch 2 and 3 before we
Mm-hmm.
move on. So stay tuned,
And
folks.
yep, that'll be next week.
Yep, because we're not letting this. This was too good to be true. No, I'm just kidding. That wasn't accurate. But we're excited for Crypticon. We want to keep featuring actors, and since Mr. Kevin was in 3 basket cases and we enjoyed this one so much, we might as well watch the other 2.
Well, also brain damage too.
Oh yeah, brain damage. Ooh, I haven't seen that either.
I am not either.
I bet you that's gonna be sci-fi.
Oh, I don't know.
Guess we'll find out. All
I don't
right.
know.
And that about wraps it up. Any last words? Final last words before we go?
No, just say creature. Feed that creature.
That's right. Speaking of feed that creature, what here's my final thought. They show the creature eating several times. He basically seems to only eat meat, but he feeds it hot dogs, he feeds it hamburgers, and when he feeds it the hamburger, he just takes the meat and throws it in there.
Mm.
Does the creature poop?
Well, I'm assuming so.
I'm guessing if it
That was just random.
I'm guessing if it can have sex, it can poop. It must
Yeah.
poop somehow. It's basically where's its heart? Where's its lungs? Where's its intestines and organs? It's just a head with little arms. Where does it go? Does it have a stomach? I need to see the anatomy of the basket case creature. Someone out there give me a detailed diagram so I know.
Oh my gosh, Matt. Well, yeah, obviously it probably does.
Right?
It
And
probably
with
pees.
right, he's got to at least pee. I mean, he must have a pee pee.
Well, yeah.
It's actually like massive. It's proportionately the size of his head. Anyway, now
Oh,
we just
absolutely fucking not.
yeah.
That would be kind of weird.
Yep. And I think with that disturbing image, we better leave before I say anything else. So thank you so much for listening and keep coming back for more exciting Talk Bloody to Me.
See you later.